Jimmy, are you in there? Hey, Roger. I think Jimmy's still on vacation. I think we're alone now. There doesn't seem to be anyone around. Bump, bump, bump. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the Paid Search Podcast. Oh, yeah. All right. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yes. Yes. Yeah.
It's a lot.
Yeah. Well, it's been a while.
There we go.
It's been a full week since I got to see you.
I know. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, get it. I still.
You want to get some in there? You want to get in there with that?
No, that's not me. That's all you.
I feel like I'm hogging it.
No, that's all you.
Feels good. You should try it out.
No, I don't. Doesn't feel this.
I can't even get enough of it. Come on. Yeah.
It's all you.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the Paid Search Podcast. My name is, don't know if I want to claim my name after that intro. Wouldn't it be funny if the whole time we thought the intros were before the recording starts and then our editor
takes them out,
accidentally included those? No, of course. Actually, the opposite went on. Rachel cut those off for a while, and then I was like, put them back in there.
Put them back in. They're super important.
Hold on. I'm just waiting for the...
Yeah. Get rid of them.
Some of the audience. Mm-hmm. I like when they drop off. I don't want these.
You can hear it.
Like actionable insights.
It's like a bell.
I can hear them falling.
When a newbie leaves, so they think, oh, these guys are stupid. They don't know what they're... Oh, there one. You hear that one? That one left. They just deleted
I think there's a few more. There's a few more. Okay, we're good.
There we go. Hey, guys. Cool hey, welcome back, everyone. It's just us again. I'm Chris.
So, Chris.
This is Jason Rothman. We haven't even done that.
Forgot to do the intro.
It's fine.
Jason Rothman. Yeah. As always, joined by, you're not Chris. You're the great Chris Schaefer.
Yes. Thank you.
For those who can't see him, Chris is wearing a nice shirt. He has a... Hold on, let me guess, and then I want to know.
Oh, dear.
I'm going to say the classic 3-day... No. I'm going to say 2-day beard. He has a 2-day shave. Hasn't shaved in 2 days going on. How long has it been? 1 day?
It's been
Are you that masculine?
No.
You have that much testosterone going for what?
It's a solid week.
All right. Well, that's okay. Yeah. That's okay. Let's recover from that embarrassment. Yeah. That's what happens after a full week. Okay.
Yeah, a full week.
Thought you did CrossFit. Okay.
Mm-hmm. No,
interesting.
I don't have the...
But you have a nice little afternoon shadow going on.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I've been working on it for
question for you.
7 afternoons now. So
I gotta say, and I mean, maybe I'll speak to your wife about this, get her opinion, but I think it looks good. I think it looks really good.
It's very gray. And some of my lady friends have told me that a gray beard is attractive on a man.
It's
so immediately
right
I stopped shaving when they told me that. So I'm, but
you know what else it does? It accentuates your strong jawline.
I don't think I have.
And human beings like that.
Oh,
you have a very strong, yes.
Oh, well, thank you.
Maybe it's because you put your camera 10 feet above.
That's what it is.
Your sitting area. I can't tell. Chris, you were talking about CrossFit before the show.
Oh, no.
And you mentioned the word PR. And I was actually thinking about you and PR and CrossFit yesterday. And what does PR stand for? This is what I was thinking about. What does it stand for?
Personal record.
Okay, then why don't you keep that to yourself, CrossFit people? If it's a personal record,
nice.
Keep your PR to yourself. But they all want to share it. You know?
Well, that's what they're meant.
Anything you want to tell us about CrossFit? Is it going okay? You having a good time?
I'm not going great this week. I got a PR, but I also wrecked my back. So
does it honestly? Yeah, Chris is on the mend. He's sitting down today. Chris, does it still count as a PR if you injure yourself during that attempt?
Oh, sure, yeah. I think you get there's like an extra outline around the star that shows up. It's like PR plus injury. Like that's a whole new level.
PR/FR final record.
Final record. Personal final record.
No, just kidding. No, Chris, I hope you heal up soon. We've got a great review today. I think that'll help you feel warm and fuzzy and heal up. And we have a great episode. We have a major problem in the Google Ads management world.
Oh,
it's called landing pages. We hear about it all the time from clients. Major problem. We'll describe that problem, and we'll describe this episode we came up with to solve that problem. Once and for all, we can get to the bottom of whether or not my landing page is good and what I should do to it. So we'll be talking about all that today, Chris. But first, you have a message from Optio, and then we'll get into the episode.
I do. My message is try it out for free. And you say, well, try what out? Well, try Optio out. Well, what's Optio? Optio is the solution to get more done in Google Ads in less time. There's one thing all of us are limited on, and that's time. You can only get so much done in the day, and you can get more done by hiring someone, okay? Then you have to pay them, and then they can only get so much done. Look, it's a reoccurring system. No matter how many people you hire, however efficient you get, you're going to always run out of time. You can take it an extra step further and get more done in Google Ads with Optio. You can get amazing reporting systems. You can get dashboards that don't exist in Google Ads. These are really helpful graphical interfaces. And I'll tell you what, if you're a freelance or you're an agency, I use them for screenshots. I'll say, hey, who doesn't like screenshots with colors and graphs? It works really well to communicate information that you may otherwise not be able to communicate effectively. Who wants to go in and create some custom spreadsheet with a graph and all this kind of stuff? This stuff is built in. It shows you all kinds of great graphs, and it's very customizable to what you want it to be so that it fits you. And its main goal is not to run the campaign for you. They're not saying, hey, we're smarter than you, pay us money and we'll manage for you. No, that's not the system, right? We believe in the power of the human mind. You can get it done, but this tool helps you get it done faster. It assists you with optimization suggestions, recommendations based on their super smart algorithm. Whether you have 1 or 500 clients, this is the tool for you. Go to opteo.com/PSP2. It's important because you get an 8-week free trial to try out the whole tool. You'll love it. Many of our listeners have tried it and continue to use it even past the free period. It really proves itself. So try it out. Opteo.com/PSP2. Use the little chat box to tell the friendly person on the other side that you would like an 8-week free trial.
Thanks, Chris. We have a 5-star review of the week here from Apple Podcasts, and we appreciate those reviews. They really do work. When you leave us ratings and or reviews, they bump us up in the rankings. And you search Google Ads, you search AdWords, you search PPC, we show up probably number 1 for all of that in Apple Podcasts. Mm-hmm. But we want to stretch beyond that. We want to show up for divorce. We want to show up for business. We want to show up for overall marketing. We want to show up for options, tradings, every single topic. We want to have the number 1 podcast.
CrossFit podcast.
And we can do that with the algorithm, with the reviews. It may not last. They may be like, why is this marketing podcast showing up number 1 for anything but
divorce advice?
At least in the short term, divorce advice. Maybe because Jason drops the D word every other episode.
He does. The algorithm's like, this must be about infidelity as much as he talks about taking trips to LA.
5 stars, Jason and Chris from Top Tuna in the United States of America.
Wow. Top Tuna.
The eyes of the world are on us, Chris.
Oh yeah.
We are 19 days from the biggest election in the history of this country.
That's what they say.
The whole world's wondering how we're going to handle it. And you know what? We're going to handle it great no matter what happens, because we are the number 1 country. We are the light of the world. We are the hope of the free world, and we will lead the way. And
is that a song?
We'll always lead
Why
the
is
way.
that not like a song? That I feel like you just wrote a song.
I don't know, but you know what else I think about countries in our country? And I think everybody's got to give this up to us. That red, white, and blue flag, Chris, is that not the best flag you've ever laid your eyes on? When it's just blowing in the wind, the blue sky behind it.
With the bombs bursting in air. It's very nice.
United States of America.
Go ahead and read the review.
I love this country, Chris.
Let's read the review.
5 stars. This podcast is awesome. I listen while at work and hoping to start using some of the tactics when I sit down behind my computer. I do see Jason as being not only the best in the world at what he does, but it wouldn't be a stretch to say he's the best in the universe.
Wow.
This might be a typo sentence. He said he's not perfect, though. That would be too much of a burden. I see where he's coming from now. Okay. Oh, yeah, and Chris is good, too.
Oh, there it is. He did it. Top Tuna listened to your request.
Okay, I have a comment about that. He said, and then he had some emojis, and then he said, thanks, guys, great podcast. Now, the interesting thing about this, you said that last week, right?
Yeah.
Please, everybody, blah, blah, blah. Just make sure you say Chris is
great.
He left, okay, we recorded that on like the 7th or 8th. It came out like on the 9th or 10th or whatever. This review's from October 2nd. Wow. So people were bashing you non-ironically even before you told them to jokingly bash you. Yeah, they're actually bashing you. Yeah.
That's amazing. I like Top Tuna. That's a good one. I enjoy that. I enjoy humor at my own expense, probably the most. I don't know why.
The reason you do is because you're so confident in your skills.
I guess, yeah.
Because you're amazing. The things you find in Google Ads, the things you do.
That's true.
Things you teach us, we all owe you a debt of gratitude. I appreciate it, Chris. So, great review there. And now let's talk about landing pages. So here's my problem, Chris. And I think the Google Ads managers can relate to this out there. You get a new client, you get a new advertiser you're working with, you do a build. Builds are so hard. Even if you do a lazy man, they're still hard. Mm-hmm. A lot of work goes into them. And you're ready to go. You're ready to just jump in there and start showing up on searches and getting clicks and getting that customer, that client business through Google Ads because it works great. But then they send you back an email and they say, okay, now what should I do with my website or landing page? How can I improve it? And I'm like, I melt down, Chris. I'm like, oh, this is just horrible. Your website's fine. And if I just send an email that says, no, your website's fine, I come off like
lazy. Yeah. It's a bad answer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the truth is it's a good answer. And so what we're going to do is for once and for all, we're going to give people a resource to go to. Instead of saying your website looks great, let's just get started and coming off like a jerk, I'm going to do something that wouldn't come off as a jerk, and I'm just going to send a link to this podcast episode.
No, you're not.
With no comments, just the link. No, I'm just kidding. But really, that's the purpose it's going to serve. We're going to point people once and for all. This is a checklist of what your landing page or website needs to do fine at Google Ads, to not hurt Google Ads. So that's my first point. 2 points I want to run by you, Chris. Landing pages versus websites. Is there a difference? Is there a preference? I want to know that. And then number 2, I'll get to in a second because I hate compound questions. So let me just start there. So we have to agree to the language here. Language is very important. We have to be saying the same thing here. When I use the word landing pages, I'm basically using the word final URL. And when I use the word final URL, I'm basically thinking about the words destination URL. Because Google, I'm sorry, but if you want some feedback, you always ask me for surveys and stuff. I'll give you some feedback. Destination URL was a more descriptive, more accurate way to call the link in the ad as opposed to final URL. Final URL, I don't know what that means. Sounds like a medical term.
Yeah.
Oh, I just did CrossFit. I've got a final URL on my back. What does that even mean? But a destination URL, that's where you're taking the user. So can we go back to destination URL? Okay, I think I digress. Chris, when I say landing pages, I mean the link that the person is taken to when they click on the ad. And I also mean a website or an individual landing page. Can you agree with that? Is that also what you mean when you say landing page?
Yeah. Landing page is one page. It's I could literally draw an outline of every landing page out there. It's going to have the bigger banner at the top, the big, push, whatever type of emotional kind of thing, whatever type of call to action. And then it's going to have some other things at the bottom with a form maybe, or a phone number, or something over on the right. I mean, yeah, they all look the same. And that's a landing page.
But when I say landing pages, some people think of, a page that they land on, but they think of a one-page website, a landing page. And what I'm trying to say is, a landing page it can be that, but it also can be one page
of your website,
of a normal business website.
Yeah.
Do you agree with that? Is that what we're talking about here? Do we have to be talking about just quote unquote one-page landing sites, or can all this apply to websites we take people to?
I think you're right. I think it could apply to both, but I think for the purpose of to avoid confusion, I think we should probably when we say landing pages, I think we should probably refer to one page.
I agree with you. I think that's a good point. I think we should take the idea of the website versus landing page debate, throw that out.
Mm-hmm.
That's a different topic. And we don't care if the landing page the person's landing on is one page of a business website or a one-page, quote-unquote, landing page website.
Yeah. It's just the page they land on.
Today, the checklist applies to that page.
Yeah. Yeah. There you go.
Beautiful. I like that.
The page they land on is what we're talking about, whether it's a single page or or if it's connected to a website. That's what we're discussing.
Okay. Great. Now, I want to throw this out to you as my threshold. When someone asks me, what can I do to improve my landing page? Is my landing page going to work? Here's my point. Here's where I'm coming from. Landing pages don't do the work. Landing pages don't get you real customers, real clients, and put money in your banking account. You know what does? Expert Google Ads management. Google Ads gets you business, gets you customers.
Yeah.
So I don't want to hear about, will my landing page work?
Yeah.
No, it's never going to work. How could it work? It doesn't get traffic.
Right.
The traffic is what works. Traffic gets you money. And so I say that to make the point that this checklist is just to get your landing page to a do no harm threshold. This checklist is just to get the landing page to the point where it's going to work fine. It's not going to stop the great Google Ads traffic that we get you from performing. That's my threshold.
Yep.
Do you agree with that mindset?
I think that's exactly right. And the landing page does not make the conversion. And I have proof. Yes or no, Jason, have you ever driven a lead or any successful business to a company with a crappy web page or website or anything? Crappy. I mean, just junk.
I'm the king of moving company advertising. Yeah, of course.
Of course you have.
100%.
Yeah. So,
I mean, we have some movers that have good websites, but the vast majority of movers have crap websites.
Yeah.
It's just the truth. You know?
So if you can send and get qualified leads to a crappy web page, it's the traffic that makes the difference. But if you send crappy traffic to a really good landing page, you're not going to get anything. You're exactly right. It's the traffic that makes the difference, not the website. So puts in perspective.
There's stuff you can always make landing pages better. Landing pages, some will be better than others. There's ways you can continually improve them. That's not what this checklist is about. The checklist is about getting your landing page to the point where it's going to perform as good as your Google Ads campaign is set to perform. And it won't do any harm. It won't hurt your Google Ads campaign. That's what this checklist will get you to. So we've broken down the checklist into 3 separate sections that make up a landing page: the content, the ability to track conversions, and then technical stuff to make sure everything works. So Chris, let's kick it off here with the content. Real pictures of real people and real moving trucks.
Yeah.
That's what I want to see on every single business landing page. I want to see their moving trucks. I want to see uniforms for their moving company, even if they're not in the moving business. I stick to the show notes, Chris, 100% every time. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
I say that because that's my experience in the moving world. I know when we take people to a landing page and it has a template stock image or whatever of some random person or some fake moving company, it's not going to perform well. But if someone does a search in Memphis Moving Company, and they click on our ad and they go to the landing page and they see real people from Memphis with the moving truck that's wrapped with the company logo, movers with uniforms, video or images of actual movers doing moves, it's going to perform well. So Chris, real pictures, real people, real business assets, whatever the business is that high up on your list like it is on mine?
Absolutely. I think the trust factor is brought up merely by having a real picture. And it's not the quality. It's the integrity of the picture, right? If you have a picture of someone who's, got their hands in the dirt and they're fixing sprinklers, and you can see, this is a company that, you can see them. But if it's just some guy in a whitewash shirt with a little hat shaking the hand of some model, it's like, what? That doesn't communicate anything to me, right? I want to see real pictures. Even if the quality goes down, I want the integrity to be at its highest. And that will incite trust when people see the page. So I'm absolutely with you on that.
And even from a, I know I'm coming at this from the B2C perspective, because I work, I do some B2B, but a lot of moving companies, a lot of B2C. I know you do both, but of course you do a lot of B2B.
Yeah.
And moving companies, this is easy to picture. Roofers, it's easy to picture. You show people on a roof doing the job. B2B, you can still have bad pictures and good pictures. So if you make some kind of oil industry metal component, you can have like a picture of your company logo or your office building or whatever, and that's boring. That doesn't show people they're in the right place. But if you have great pictures of the actual little metal piece of the well that your company makes, that can help let people know they're in the right place. So is that what it's all about? Just kind of letting people know, okay, I clicked on an ad. I don't know where I am. Okay, now I'm in the right place. Is that how you kind of think about what the pictures can do for you?
Yep. Absolutely.
Okay.
When I think of a good landing page, I do not think of stock images. I think of someone who just took the time to grab their phone and take a picture of the backside of the house that has all their equipment lined up, and they take a picture of their stock, where they're shipping out, their machinery or all their trucks with their logos on it,
or their employees, the parking lot picture
Sure.
of our employees at the
that's
company.
kind of cheesy, but at least it shows
But
that
it works.
It's a team, big
It
team.
shows people work there. Yeah. I think the best way I think about content is to check two boxes. Number one, let people know they're in the right place. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of options, is my point.
There is.
And people can go back to Google and click on other options. Or they can go, oh, I'm in the right place. Yes, I want to convert. I want to call this company. Mm-hmm. And that's what we want as advertisers. So letting people know they're in the right place, number one. And then number two, the goal of the content is to build credibility. That's how I approach it. Let people know they're in the right place and then build credibility. So with that said, letting people know they're in the right place, Chris, doesn't apply to B2B often, because a lot of B2B is regional or national, especially this one would apply. But for the local B2C companies, I love using local languages. I can't tell you how many movers I've worked for where I go to their website and it says #1 moving company or local movers. And I'm always like, why don't you use the name of the metro that you work in and let people know they're in the right place? Why don't you use a list of the name of the suburbs you do business in to let people know they're in the right place? So I'm huge on top of the page, big headline, not moving company, but Memphis moving company. Do you like that idea?
Yep, absolutely. I think it helps with both the human factor and the robot factor of quality score. Human side, because people see it and it instills, okay, I'm in the right place. And robot, because Google likes relevance. And if you have local keywords, you need those same local keywords in your headlines. So absolutely. Can I steal the next one? Because this one I'm very passionate about.
I had a feeling you were going to be passionate about this. I was gonna throw it to you early and often because I had a feeling you're going to be real passionate about this. So break down this level of content, the kind of content. This is a big problem for Chris.
It is.
What kind of content goes on a landing page?
It is. Now I really try and push people towards giving more information than they think is necessary. Okay, and I think having legit content with a bunch of pages, not a bunch, a few, a bunch or a few or whatever, having content or even a real website, I think is an asset. There's two things that you get by having multiple pages. Number one, you get metrics on people not bouncing. You know what you get when you get a single finite landing page? You get 100% bounce rate every time. It's basically a worthless metric. You can't ever...
Yeah, unless you go to a thank you page, but yeah.
Right, but that's a conversion. So you always get 100% bounce rate. So you know what you also can't do with a single page is convey some little snippet of information that isn't part of, the H1 tag headline that's the number one thing. The call to action may not convey that information. Who knows what kind of personal preference someone might have for what you say on your website about, we work a lot in the south side of town, or we specialize in this one thing, or they may have searched for plumber, but what they really wanted was someone who works in sewer, underground sewer repair for their home. And maybe you list that on your services page, right? Boom, you just got a conversion because the person didn't search for the right thing. They searched for plumber near me, but what they really want is a sewer repair plumber, and you have it listed somewhere. But if you had a landing page, guess what it would have been packed full of? Plumber, 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 plumber. Just a bunch of plumber keywords. It wouldn't have said sewer or, all the other 15 different things that you do.
Now, I think there's something weird about landing pages, individual landing pages, where people associate them with not a lot of content for whatever reason. And I think it's because they associate with optimizing for the conversion rate and all this kind of stuff, and like having a big form, and we want to get their information. We want to squeeze them. They have squeeze pages.
Yeah.
And they don't want to give them any other options other than to fill out the form or call. But the problem is, why would people fill out a form or call if there's no content on the page? Let's just go to the extreme. It's just a white background and it has a form that says contact us and a phone number. That's going to get a zero, well, not zero, but it's a very, very low conversion
I did
rate.
that exact same thing. I had a client that pushed me and said, hey, we built this new video. And they said, it's great. We put a lot of money into it. They have the YouTube video on the right and a booking form to book a meeting with a rep on the left. Jason, guess how many conversions they got versus the other page that had lots of content.
Well,
links.
if someone's gonna do a search that you get us a click from, Chris, you're the best, and they're going to do a search. They're going to click. They're going to read that ad, every single word in that ad, and then they're going to be motivated to click. And then they go to the website and they see a video that talks about what they're looking for. They're going to sit through that 7-minute video,
sure
and then they're going to fill out the form because they want what we have to offer. So I'm going to say 100% conversion rate, just like your client was assuming.
I love the sarcasm.
Is that the way it worked out?
Yeah, that's definitely what they thought was going to happen. But exactly the opposite. 100% bounce rate because we had no idea if they were even staying on the page because everybody just left and nobody watched the video. It was a giant white page and I was like, guys, this is awful, but okay, it's your money. Let's do it. I did a 50-50 split. It's trash. So I'm going to say it won't get anything. If it's as basic as what I'm describing, it'll get nothing.
So that's the extreme, nothing on there. So that would point you in the direction of, okay, well then it's better to have content on there than not. So whether you're using a website or a landing page, I am pro quality content. And that doesn't mean you fill it up in a way that makes it hard to see the conversion, like lead form options and the phone number. You can still make things clean and organized and motivate people's eyes to the lead form and phone number and all that when they're ready. But that doesn't mean you don't have content on there. So that's probably the number one answer when a client goes, okay, now what should I do with my website or landing page? The number one thing I'm saying, especially about individual landing pages, is you got to add some content on there. You got to real pictures, real people. You got to have local language, let people know they're in the right place. You got to describe your service, more pictures. Yeah. You got to let people know they're in the right place, or else they're going to go, and this happens almost instantly. I'm in the wrong place. Yep. I'm not getting what I'm wanting. I'm going back to Google with all those options. Yep. So we're pro content. You can't go wrong adding content.
When I'm browsing Google and I'm opening different tabs, guess what keys my fingers are on? They're on the close tab button because I'm just opening them, bam, 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 and nope, close. I mean, I assume there's a lot of people like that.
A perfect example of this, I was, as you know, 15,000 square foot house.
Of course.
Sounds very impressive. Home prices, Oklahoma, they are very inexpensive compared to a lot of places around the country. But still, you get 15,000 feet. We're talking big price here, Chris.
Yeah.
But, when you have that kind of house, you got to have good landscaping as well.
Sure.
So I was looking for a landscaper the other day, and I don't even remember if it was ads or organic listings or probably a mix of both. But I did a search, and then I opened up a bunch of options in different tabs because I need to find a landscaper to call a few, get an estimate. How do you get a 15,000 square foot house? You don't call the first one and book them. You get some estimates, hold on to that money. So, Chris, what I did here is I opened it up, and the one I ended up going with, regular website. Guess what they had a picture of on their website?
I love it.
Christmas light installation.
Yeah. Yep.
But guess what else they had a picture of?
Mm-hmm.
Mulch and landscaping and all that. And even though it was all on their homepage of their regular website, yeah, and I wasn't looking for Christmas light installation, I was like, okay, they do that. But yeah, I can see in one place very quickly, they also do landscaping, and they'll redo the front of a house, which is what we're wanting.
Mm-hmm.
They convey that to me with a picture. And guess what? The lead form wasn't in the upper right corner.
Yeah.
But guess what? I saw what I wanted instantly. And I did not go back to Google. And I said, okay, that's exactly what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
Along with other stuff, but it's okay that other stuff was there.
Yeah.
I was able to see what I was looking for. And then you know what I was able to do? I looked at their menu at the top of the page, and I'm able to spell and read. I went to private school. I don't know if they teach that at public school too.
No.
But at private school, I learned to read, and I could read the word contact. And then I have a hand that works. I don't do CrossFit, but I can still raise my arm and click my mouse. I went over there and I clicked on the contact page, and then I dialed the phone number on that page.
Wow.
They got a conversion from me. So content works. It lets you know you're in the right place. It kept me in the game for them. Kept me on the page.
That's a great example.
And it didn't have to be the only content. They had Christmas light stuff there. But I saw that I was in the right place. So, pro content. Chris, big mistake I see with service pages on websites. Service pages are great to send people to because it can be the most relevant page that meets the ad, that meets the ad copy, meets the keyword. Have you run into this? Often I find business websites like Landscapers, great homepage, but their service pages read like a blog page with no pictures, hard to read, packed paragraphs.
Bullet points.
And bullet points, but it's like not in an easy way to read, not a clear headline. And here's the problem I run into. I want to send people to those service pages, but they're kind of like in a 2-blog format. It's kind of too close to a blog article. And this isn't really a tip or anything. It's just a problem I've run into. And then I have to decide, do I want the quality score stuff or do I want the human stuff and that would be going to the better homepage. Do you run into that issue often with the service pages?
Yeah. I think if we were to assign a tip to this, I think the tip is this. There's 2 very important areas of your website. Your homepage, most people are going to funnel through that. And then second, your services page. In your example you just gave, you talked about looking at a service page. You know, you looked at a page with specific services on it. I think that's where most people tend to funnel. It's like, okay, let me go to the menu and let me figure out what services do they offer. People look at that drop-down list. They look at, everything. Yeah, I absolutely see that all the time. I think too little time is spent on that service page. So, if I were to build a website, it would have a very fleshed out homepage and a very fleshed out service page. When I say fleshed out, I mean pictures and content. I don't mean lots of call to actions and all that stuff. No sidebars. No sidebars on there with, pushing all the content into a real skinny rectangle. I mean, nice big full page.
Yeah, my threshold is I'm okay with the sidebar, but what I want is I want people to be able to know they're in the right place instantly, like you can with a good homepage or landing page. And not have to dig in because they're not going to dig in and try to read the full paragraph and all that. So just a couple more content tips here, Chris. One thing I like for websites or landing pages, if Spanish or Chinese or Russian is kind of the major second language in your area, depending on where you are in the United States, and you service a lot of people who primarily speak that second language, I like websites that have that en español button in the upper right or whatever the second language is. I find that to be a cool thing that can help keep people on the page. And then the final content tip here, Chris, and you can go down the list here and give me your thoughts on each one, but trust builders, things that build trust. So I've got some listed out for you. Go down that list. Let me know if you think they're good or
so we got
overrated.
License numbers, overrated. Only person that cares about that is you. I would say if you just say licensed, and then maybe put the license number underneath it. But who the frick cares what your license number is? Just show that you have it. Sure, that's it. But license number, okay. In business sense, absolutely. So in business since 1930 or 2003.
No, I put X.
Right. Well,
do you not understand Roman numerals? In business since the 10th year of humanity. No, I'm kidding.
That's pretty good.
But do you like? I love that in business.
Oh yeah,
sense, whatever.
Oh, I do that. Yeah, on my own website.
Unless it was last year, but
yeah, unless you just started, maybe not.
You gotta wait a few
in
years.
business since 2020. No, it's something I do myself. On the top of my own website, I say, I immediately mention been doing this for for eternity. So yeah, I mean
it's a credibility builder.
Oh, absolutely. Google Ads or Google Maps embedded.
Google Maps.
So
yeah. I like seeing that image of the map there.
I actually don't like the embedded feature. I think that's overrated. I don't think people really need to zoom in and zoom out. Why give them that little ability? And also for those of us with crappy internet, it loads slower.
I think maybe that's the primary motivator.
I would say just a screenshot. With some mock-up of like a circled area, we do this area.
Okay, we can agree to not break up the podcast and just disagree.
Oh, good.
We can agree to not have a fallout over this and just disagree. We'll agree to disagree on the embed versus an image or whatever. But my general point, do you like seeing that makes you feel nice, gives you a nice, comfortable hug?
I guess,
You're used to it. Google Maps kind of image there.
Yes.
Lets them know it's a real business with the location.
Whether it's embedded or a picture, yes, absolutely. And then testimonials, yes, absolutely. I have testimonials on my website. I think it's important. I don't know how many people read them, but it's nice to see them. It's just like, oh, okay. It's just kind of a checklist of things. Social media links, no, overrated. No. Maybe people will go and see how many followers you have.
Someone's a little bit sensitive about their conversion rate. Because you know what, Chris? I'm in the business of helping advertisers, and I build so much trust with my clients. I tell, like, if someone clicks off to a Facebook page because we have a little social media link there, and they see on the Facebook page that they have a bunch of reviews and a bunch of pictures and a bunch of recent activity, and it builds credibility, and people call in on the Facebook page and I don't get credit for the conversion, I think that process works a lot.
Let me ask, above the fold or at the bottom of the page? Social media links.
Wherever it looks good.
No.
I am not scared of someone clicking off the website. I'm not scared. Don't be scared, homie.
I'm not scared. I mean, I get good. My job is to provide good.
Stockton.
What?
Stockton.
I don't know that. Why are you shouting that?
Chris,
I don't know that.
10% of our audience is loving this right now, and you're in the 90%. So.
Oh. Wow. Well, way to go. Way to serve to the minority, Jason. That's great.
I bet you feel like I'm selling wolf tickets right now.
I don't know what. Yeah.
All right.
Is this a sport?
10%. They're howling,
Chris.
They're
thing?
howling, Chris.
Is this sports?
It's a niche of a niche of a niche.
Wow.
Well, it's not a niche sport. It's the number one sport.
Well,
fighting is the number one sport.
We are a
bigger than soccer.
Google Ads podcast. So niche.
I know, but we're trying to rank for every single search. Remember, Chris?
Okay, social media links, no way. I just don't want them at the top. Is all. That's all.
I'm not scared of them. I like them.
Awards and
as long as the social media is good. Don't have a link there if it goes to a Twitter page where you have one follower
right.
and one post from 2007. Like that doesn't build credibility. Right. So it does depend on what they're doing with social media,
right?
For sure.
Awards and then associations and memberships, sure. Yeah, I guess. Coming from someone who has very few awards. That kind of hurts. I don't have any. Jason, you're an award-winning Google Ads manager, so you can brag about that. But I like that. I think that's my list.
Okay, so Chris, there's 99% of humanity that I think I'm going to hit on this right now. There's 99% of humanity that's not worried about the length of this episode. There's 99% of humanity that's not worried about the length of this episode. And then there's 0.00001, which is you. You're the only one worried. The listeners aren't worried, but you're worried. So I'm going to put you at ease here by making the point. We're going to fly through conversions. We're going to fly through the technical stuff. Would you say content is the most important part of actually getting business? Maybe you're not able to track everything if you don't have your conversions right.
Yes.
But That's why we spent time on it.
Okay.
Content's very important.
Okay. Yeah, I agree. I agree. And that's why I was going to say,
We all knew what you were going to say.
possibly we put the third category in our Patreon section.
No, I've got a different. No, that's not fair to
Whatever.
the listeners. We got to cover technical.
Okay.
We'll fly through it here, Chris.
Okay.
You're the only one that's nervous. You're the only one that's
I
sweating.
got stuff to do.
People are just mailing you deodorant right now. They're mailing you antiperspirant. They're like,
Okay.
Chris, relax.
All right.
This is
Go
your
for it,
baby.
then.
This is the podcast. Yeah. Conversions. Don't hide phone numbers. Very simple. How often have you run into people, they put it at the bottom of the page?
Oh.
The worst ever I've seen, Chris, was someone put it in the footer in small font, and it was a shade of the same.
Oh my gosh.
It was a shade of brown, and the footer was brown.
black.
It was just a lighter brown. And I asked them, I was like, so what's the goal here? Do we want phone numbers? We want lead forms? And they're like, yeah, we want people to contact us, call us. And I'm like, so why are we playing hide and go seek with the phone number? Make them prominent, above the fold, easy to find. Lead forms, controversial topic, Chris. Prominent, easy to fill out. That's not controversial. The longer the form is, the less conversions you're going to get. If you have to get a super long form, possibly look at a 2-step process. Initial, name, email, phone number, all that kind of stuff on the first form. The basics to contact the person. And then if you want, direct them to a second form where you'll get less signups, but you can get a lot of good quality information. Sometime I've advised moving companies to do that. But here's the controversial part. Where do you put the form? Does it have to be above the fold? Is it the sidebar? What do you think about the form? Where the location?
If you have a good developer that can condense and make it flow easily, I think above the fold is great. But if you're using a WordPress click it and stick it kind of thing, that's like, put this widget here, and you don't really have a finite control of where it shows up on the page, and you can't be sure what it looks like on mobile and desktop and tablet and all that kind of stuff. I would say in that case, put it below the fold. I would say content is king, number one. Make sure you do the number one thing we talked about. Convince them they're in the right place. If they're in the right place, they'll keep scrolling. If you immediately give them a form, they'll be like, and then they're immediately off put. The eye's going to go to that form. It's going to be a little intimidating. They're going to start scrolling and moving around. No, I say, unless you have really good control of where it shows up and it's really compacted and it's a short form, everything else goes below the fold. But and to be clear, below the fold means lower on the page. We're using technical, business, website language. It just means below that first half of the page is what I mean by below the fold.
That you see when you land there.
Yeah.
You know what's so weird about the whole landing page thing? I just got done talking about the landscaper, and I was able to act like a human being and click to the contact page. I didn't need a form there. For them, the 3 images of their main services and one of the services being something I'm looking for, catching my eye and keeping me on the site, was more important than having a lead form taking up one of those images and being above the fold. I just got done telling you that. But as you were saying, yeah, above the fold's good if you can do it, but it's not the most important thing. Content is. Even as you were saying that, I was like, kind of like wanting to disagree with that, because the BS, the hype around landing pages and optimized and all that kind of stuff is so strong that it was making me think, I don't know, Chris, I think it needs to be above the form in the upper right. And then you need to A/B split test it and see if the left works better. But I don't agree with that.
Yeah.
I agree that content is king, and you got to keep people there and let them know you're in the right spot. And then if they do know they're in the right spot, they can figure out how to contact you with big phone numbers, or click to the contact page, or scroll down and fill out the lead form. Even agreeing with that, I still had that feeling like, I need to see that lead form in the upper right corner. Isn't that weird how strong the group think is on that?
Yeah, it's a habit kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I think you covered a lot of things here. There's one thing I want to add to conversions before we go to technical, and it's this. I think, this is something I literally just had a conversation with a client about. My philosophy on conversions is this: do not box them in with one way of converting. And I don't mean just a phone number and a form. I do this myself on my own website. I mean, I'm preaching here what I do myself. I counted it up. I think I have 5 or more different ways to convert on my site. And I think that is key because the top one is
Okay, what are some examples besides? Are you talking about clicking to the Facebook page and then calling the Facebook
no.
profile phone number like I was talking about?
I'm talking about literal on the page. You can take action and do something. Buttons have different destinations, different purposes. I have a scheduler system. They can book a schedule a call with me, a paid call. And then number 2, they can fill out a quick little, hey, tell me what the problem is kind of form. Right? Very easy. Just put your name, email, and tell me what the problem is. Talk to me real quick. They can call and leave a voicemail. They have my phone number. They can call and leave a voicemail, and I may pick them up and call right back or, whatever. Also, they can fill out a longer form to give me all the information about, and like give me all the details, with skipping that first initial, hey, what's up? Doing good. What's up with you? They can skip all that and just get straight to the details. And, there's also, I think there's something else I'm forgetting, but all that stuff helps me as a business to scratch the itch of that person. If they're really ready to get started right now, I have a full complete setup form. If they just want to say, hey, do you do this? And then they can just ask that in the, this kind of thing. If they want consulting or training, pay the form. But done. I have a level of engagement for the level of the person that they are at as far as what they're interested in.
Okay, so if you're a roofing company, you've got the phone number, you've got the quick lead form. Yeah, we want a quote. We want to get in touch with you. You've got maybe a company email address. Those get a lot of hits. Sometimes people don't like filling out forms. That's an option. When I worked with moving companies, a lot of people just emailed the email they saw on the site.
Yep.
Hard to track conversions, but it's not about tracking conversions. It's about actually getting business results. You've got a long lead form. Someone knows like, oh yeah, this is the moving company I want to work for. You've got a page for a detailed lead form so you can get a specific moving quote. We can get all your information. So I like that idea a lot, Chris. Thinking about all the needs your customers have and then giving them options. And that kind of plays into the last conversion tip here. Maybe a call to action, or a better way to say it is an explainer or instructions with all your forms and phone numbers. So don't just give a phone number, say, call now for a free quote. Give people a reason to call. Don't just put a long, detailed, super long form so they can get a detailed quote and just leave it there. Put in, if you take the time to fill out this quote, this form, we can give you a detailed quote, like some kind of like explainer information. So I just when I'm on websites, I always like the call to actions. Call now and ask for so-and-so,
Yep. All right, guys, we're going to get into technical, which I think is really important. But first, something else really important is Optio. You heard me before. It is the tool to get things done faster in Google Ads, whether you are a freelancer like Jason and I, where you're just trying to get stuff done as efficiently and quickly as you can for yourself and your clients. This is a great tool to scale and be a very affordable pricing for something like that. If you're an agency with multiple employees, 5 employees, 6, 100 employees, it scales to big, a very large scale type of management system with reporting included. They really have a lot of options available. So be sure and check them out. opteo.com/PSP2. That's opteo.com/PSP2 for an 8-week free trial.
Okay, Chris. Now, we were talking about the content, and I was saying how important content is. It's the most important. But you know what? I'd say content and technical are crucial. The conversion stuff, yeah, it'll help you track conversions for Google Ads, and that's good. But you can't really perform without the technical stuff. So it's kind of like you can have great ingredients to bake a cake, but if you don't have the right temperature, all that kind of stuff, a good pan, good technical stuff, it's not going to work. So you got a little nervous, little sweat, little sweaty. Yeah. You were just scared we weren't going to have enough time for technical. So what's going on with you and technical? Or are you having issues there with clients in the past on technical? Is it a sore spot? Is this super important to you? What's going on with technical? I did not expect this emotional reaction out of you.
This is what I find is one of the most common factors for low quality score.
For failure?
Low quality score. I don't know about failure. Failure, as far as the robot algorithm quality score side of Google Ads, I find that technical is one of the most commonly
that's brutal when you're a
failed.
Google Ads manager. You do everything right, and then the
page,
website's just horrible, and you can't get off the ground because they got you at 2s and 1s.
Yep, the page
load, can't even show.
The page loading really slow. That is huge. And, we've talked about different tools. There's Page Speed Insights from Google. Look that up. There's
I don't get the tool. I don't get the tool thing with that. Why can't people just go to their website on their browser, and if it's slow, contact their web person and say, fix
no,
this?
because here's the reason.
That's always been my outlook.
Here's the reason I like to use these tools is because it gives you a firm benchmark to base how well you're improving. So I literally just today, I sent someone a link to their site using this tool, and they had a 28 out of 100. Failed really bad. Now, when I go back and they say they made changes, if it goes up, I know they improve things and say, okay, good. And we're at a 60, or if it goes to a 15, I'm like, holy, what did you do? It's even worse now.
Okay.
That's why.
We talked about this in the past. We're not going to break up the Beatles over this. We're not going to agree to have a fallout and end a 4 or 5 year relationship over this. But I disagree.
What?
We're going to agree to disagree.
No.
If you're able to be mature enough to agree to disagree and not have a fallout, we'll agree to disagree. Because I'm putting it on the table. I'm willing to agree to disagree after I bash your point. I'm willing to agree to disagree after I make you look like a fool. I'm willing to agree to disagree after I just steamroll your point here. I have not had a good experience with that tool, Page Speed, because what happens is I put a website on there, my website's working fast, and then I go on there, and it's like, you need to do this with your image size, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, hey, I'm not a web designer. I'm the number one Google Ads manager on the planet and the smartest person on the planet. I'm not here to do all this technical. I want to say that word so bad today.
Second time
it would make me feel
you wanted to say
so good. It's that word specifically. Oh, it would make me feel so good to say it.
And then I'll beep it. I can beep it.
Bullshit.
Beep. See, don't you feel better?
Oh, man, I feel so much better now.
See?
But that's how I feel when I look at that. I'm like, no, it's either fast or it's slow when I'm using it on my browser. And someone would say, well, you might have a slow internet connection. And I'm like, there's no such thing in my world as slow internet connection.
Okay, yeah, whatever. Yeah, live it up. But hey,
let's get to common ground. Let's get to common ground.
I don't think there's any common ground.
However, are you trying to break up right now with me? Why don't you just come out and say it, okay? You don't have to cheat on me. That's what a scumbag does. Why don't you just be man enough to say you don't love me anymore?
I don't find you.
Sorry,
I don't find your point to be attractive anymore. I don't.
Chris, let's find common ground here.
No.
The point is, no matter how you fix it, you have to have a fast website. A slow website will kill your Google Ads results. Do you agree with that? Common ground? I'm extending the olive branch.
Sure, I guess. Whatever. But I mean, how do you qualify fast?
But isn't that, honestly,
how do you qualify fast?
How do you qualify fast? By going to the website and seeing if it loads fast.
No.
What do you mean?
This is, he's going to watch it.
I'm not throwing
I saw
it anywhere.
You bow up.
I wanted to throw it at
you. Bowed up.
I want to throw it at you. I want to throw it at you. I'm not going to throw it at my own wall. What kind of idiot
would
throw stuff
throw it
at
me.
House?
Ruin your monitor. Let me see it.
No. That's why I'm not going to do it. But that my instinct was to hurt you because what do you mean? How do you qualify?
How do you qualify?
How do you qualify?
Okay, I'm the client. Tell me, sir, your website is not fast enough. Go ahead, say that to me.
Okay. Well, first we got to say what they say. Hey, Jason, I think our conversions are down this month. I want to know what's going on. And then I go through the check. Okay, search terms are perfect. Obviously, already knew that. Bids are perfect because I do them manually, and I'm the best Google Ads manager on the planet.
I didn't ask for the scenic route.
So what could it be? What could it be? Oh, let me go to your website. Audit the website. Oh, it took 5 seconds to load. Maybe it's that. So then here's what I say to them. I go, hey, everything looks good on the Google Ads side. The website itself looks good. I think we have everything in the right place, good content. But it is taking a long time when I go to that site. It seems to be like multiple seconds to load. People are bouncing back to Google. You need to talk to your web developer and speed up your site.
Okay, he's going to say, all right,
what's wrong with that?
He's going to say, Jason, thanks. That's great advice. I'm going to go talk to him. Beep, 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 fast forward. Here's the reply email 3 days later. Hey, Jason, I talked to my guy who lives in his mom's basement and does SEO work, and he's a lazy piece of crap web developer, but I hired him because he built it in the web, and he has cheap prices, but I trust him. He wanted to know what's wrong with the site. It loads fast for me. He said, well, does the guy have problems with his web browser? Maybe he should clear his cache. It loads fine for me. That's the bullcrap he gets back from his daggum lazy web developers. And then
I can't speak to your experience. My experience is people. Okay, well, here's the thing, Chris. Here's the thing. People either have a good web company they work with, or they don't.
Yes.
So whether or not, so
90% have bad.
Guess what? No.
Yeah.
Not in my experience.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. If they have a bad web developer, you going, go to this tool and it'll tell you to change this file size and blah, blah, blah. If they're bad, they're not going to know how to do that. If they're bad, it's because they're bad in the first place.
It's a good point, but at least you did your job. At least you gave qualified information about what to fix.
No, my job is Google Ads Management, number one Google Ads Manager on the planet.
No way. Those people look to you for more than just that. If they looked for
and I give it for free. I give it for free because we've talked about it in the past.
I won this.
When should we charge for Google Ads Management? And your own point. Well, it depends on what services you offer. Do you offer website stuff? Do you offer other marketing services? Yeah, then charge a lot. If you only offer Google Ads, then charge for that. So I charge for that, Chris. Pretty affordable prices. And I give my expertise on when there's a website issue, some advice, some consulting on how to fix it. And guess what that is? It's slow, speed it up. And then the person doing the website stuff speeds it up.
Jason, when my wife sends me a text of her in the dressing room and she's trying on 2 different dresses, and she says...
She sends me those too, just so you know. That's the mode we're in right now, Chris. We're 2017 wife jokes. You want to go back there? I'm not trying to go back there. You're the one antagonizing me, comparing me
She's going to say,
come on,
which one do you like? And I'm going to say this one. She's going to say, what don't you like about the other one? They want to know.
And then you're an idiot, so you're going to give her details that she's going to hold against you and resent you for.
That's not the point.
Instead of just saying, baby, you look beautiful on the one on the right. That just is your dress. Are you seriously give her critiques one by one? Is that working out for you, Chris?
Yeah. 15 years. Suck it. What's up now? What's up now? Okay, I win. That's it. We're moving on.
You know what? I can't. That is the best point. Wow, what a technical point you just made there. I can't come back to that in any way. So yeah, you definitely came with a smarter argument there, Chris. Common ground. Fast website. It needs to be fast, no matter how you want to solve that.
Sure.
It's got to be fast.
Wow,
that's
number 1. You said this was fast.
No, but
that was number 1.
Hey, you're the one that wanted to go down the road. You wanted to start fighting, Chris. Here's the thing, though. Isn't that? Would you say? I'd say that's underrated among advertisers. They don't realize how big a factor that is.
It is. Yeah. Huge quality score. I think it's a major factor of quality score.
What is it called in the quality score? Landing page
experience.
Mm-hmm. That's a bad experience.
Below
if you click
average.
on an ad and go to a website and it doesn't load for you. Google hates that.
Oh yeah. Even if
Google's
it's slow.
whole thing is speed.
If the contextual paint time is like 8 seconds, they're like below average. Hate it. Poor quality score.
You know what? Think about more and more. Page speed insights. Yeah.
What
the hell? I like it, Chris. You can give people details. They can go have fun with themselves and say, "Oh, we're going to solve this little issue, solve that issue."
And you just say, "Oh, okay."
There you go. You're right.
Man,
you're right. I like it. Page speed insights. But the only thing I'd say is throw in a little bit of common sense there. Like if it's slow, it's slow.
Yeah. Okay.
And here's my other beef. If page speed insights is 83 out of 100 and you get a nice little green instead of a yellow or red, but it's still slow, don't be like, oh, at least we're in 83. No, you're slow. So just by the way, just to show you how much Google emphasizes speed, do a search on Google, and then it shows you how many results and how long it took for them to deliver those. Yeah. Google loves speed.
Efficiency.
They reward speed. Yep. Speed equals good. Helps with the quality
That's
score.
A good point.
Okay, Chris. Mobile version of the website, obviously, but a lot of people forget that. Here's a big one with mobile, Chris. Phone numbers, and definitely phone numbers above the fold on mobile. Have you ever run into that where on the website desktop, it's got a big phone number in the header, but then on mobile, they kind of hide the phone number, or there's not that nice little clickable button there. I like when the phone number is clickable above the fold. You can see it when you first land on the site on mobile.
Yep.
Clickable phone numbers. Have you ever run into that on Safari and on Chrome on mobile? You need to make sure your phone numbers are clickable.
Yes, they have the TEL.
This is technical stuff, Chris.
Yeah, the TEL colon thing.
The code.
Yep.
And you need to test it on Safari and Chrome, because guess what? If people can't click your phone number on mobile,
it's frustrating.
There's a good chance they're not going to call.
Yeah.
One that's close to Chris's heart. Lead form, thank you pages. This is a technical thing. Do you keep people on the same page so they can, I don't know, reconsume the content they just consumed? Yeah. I don't know why people
want to fill out the form a second time. Like what?
Do when they fill out the form, do you send them to a thank you page? What's the benefit of doing that, Chris? And then how do you feel? How strongly do you feel about this?
I want to punch things. Like I when someone refuses, it makes me so upset. So the absolute number one reason is because there is zero issues in duplicate or false positives if it goes to a thank you page after a form has been filled out. I send you a piece of code for conversion tracking, whether it's an analytics code that I build as a goal, and then it tracks automatically, or if it's a conversion code that I send you through Google Ads. However it happens, the only way it's going to fire is if that person reaches domain.com/thankyou.psp or whatever that PHP or whatever, right? That is infallible. It's not going to do any false positives. It's
so simple.
So
too.
much
you
better.
Just put the code on that page,
instead of some
and the only way
JavaScript popping up and it pops up and fires falsely, and you get. I just had a client 2 weeks ago that started their campaign. Day 2, I was at 100% conversion rate, because guess what? Stupid developer.
Oh, good job, Chris.
Stupid developer put the code right on their landing page. I'm like, what the heck are you doing?
I'm 7 years into this business. Probably took me 6 1/4 to become the best in the planet. Mm-hmm. And now I'm 7 years in, and I will never, I don't care if I go 8 years, I don't care if I go 30 years, I will never learn or figure out a way to explain the tracking code clicks on a button. I won't, other than just copying and pasting the instructions, I will never understand or be able to convey the functionality behind that.
Mystical.
Do you know how it works?
Oh, no, I don't know how it works. I just copy it. I'm like, there's a way to do it. Good luck. I don't know. I even
say, okay, I recommend going to a thank you page instead of staying on the page. I send this instructions to some clients. I don't know how it works. Some of them get it. Some of them don't.
Boy.
Seems to be hard to set up. Good luck. But I also tell them it would be nice if we could just send people to a thank you page. I do know how that works. Global tag in the header, whatever. You put the conversion code right below that. And then the only way people get kind of tracked as a conversion is if they come to that thank you page. And the only way to get there
is to fill out the form.
Is if they fill out the form. It's beautiful. Chris, this one, when I was filling it out, this final kind of, well, number one, let me ask you, beyond this final one we'll get to in a second, is there any other technical stuff I missed, or do you think that's kind of it? Like fast, mobile friendly, phone number high on mobile, high on the page, clickable phone numbers on mobile, both Safari and Chrome, lead form. We like when the lead form goes to a thank you page, fast website. Is there anything else technical that you think you're missing that's common? That's a common mess up.
There is, but it has more to do with e-commerce and the difficulties of sending people to a different purchase page. Like they'll send them to a merchant page that then breaks all of it. But that's super technical. But no, I think that completely covers all of it.
Okay, well, I'm gonna write this down for Patreon. I do have a question because this happens with service companies as well. What happens when a client has to send someone else to a different domain, like a scheduler? Yep. I would like to get your thoughts on that and just some genuine advice for me. Like, what do you go with the flow with that with clients, or do you kind of tell them like, hey, this is going to really hurt? So I'm interested to get your thoughts there. Final tip here on the main show for technical. I don't even know how I feel about this one. I put this on there because I think people say it and I want to get your thoughts on it. making sure your SEO title tag, your SEO meta description, your SEO H1s, just like the way people optimize those for SEO purposes, some people talk about optimizing those for quality score purposes on the landing page. Is that a real thing? Do you focus on that?
If they don't have it, I'm upset. And I definitely tell them, your title tag says landing page or services or, lawyer, right?
It says template moving website theme,
right?
Homepage.
Exactly. Right. Like if it doesn't, at least
it says template website theme homepage. Fill out when you set up the
delete
theme.
This.
Customize. Yeah, delete this and fill it out with your name.
Your name. Yeah. If it doesn't have it, I'm definitely concerned and I want it changed. But as far as like, hey, you need to optimize the way that it's written. If it's
okay.
No, I'm not really into that.
Okay, and that goes back to the main point of this episode. We're not here to this checklist isn't to be like, oh, how do you get your conversion rate from 21% to 25% by landing page improvements? This is about how do you get your landing page or website to not hurt your Google Ads performance and allow your Google Ads performance to be as good as the campaign
no harm.
is.
I love the no harm.
I think do no harm, yeah. And I think that's a great point you make about if your SEO title tag, meta description, H1s are all template stuff from your theme or whatever, that's probably harming your quality score, not to the extent page speed would, but to maybe some little extent. It's doing some harm. So let's get it to be some kind of normal stuff. And it doesn't have to be optimized, but normal, relevant. So I that's a great outlook on that, Chris. So, hey, man, I think we did it. There were some battles in there. There were some personal things said, but I don't know. We both kind of work alone, and
I'll be back. I'll be back next.
We never even did team sports. So are you going to let this roll off your shoulders here?
My shoulders are made of butter. Nothing sticks.
Are you going to let this stuff roll off your strong cross-fitted
butter shoulders?
And not only just strong and big muscle,
boy,
but functional.
Okay.
Because we all work on a farm.
Thanks for listening, subscribing, and sending your reviews and 5 stars. We will be back, and if you would like a little bit more, we have Patreon where we share a little bit more.